At People's Capital Group, we help you invest in real estate. Build your wealth by owning professionally managed apartment buildings in the northern New Jersey market. We want to show you how owning real estate is attainable, even for the busy professionals that don't have the time or experience investing in real estate. Now, we only work with select people who are serious about building wealth. So find out if you qualify at peoplescapitalgroup.com. Hello and welcome to the Passive Cash Flow Podcast, where we help people invest in real estate. Some episodes include interesting guests that span dozens of different types of industries. Other episodes offer analysis of popular topics that pertain to people seeking to learn how to build passive wealth in real estate. So listen in and enjoy our off-the-cuff podcast made to entertain, educate, and help you learn how to create passive wealth in real estate. All right, today I'm going to talk about a topic called advantages of investing in real estate. So I have a list here of different advantages of investing in real estate, and I can go through them here. We'll break right into it. The first one I have is steady income. Right, so a lot of the main purposes I started investing in real estate was to create steady income, ideally cash flow from real estate. Now, a lot of the North Jersey properties we invest in here aren't so great on the cash flow side, but we do earn some cash flow from them on a quarterly basis. The majority of the earnings come from the refinance of real estate. But as we have enough properties and we build our portfolio up, that becomes very steady income as we refinance properties over time, we cash flow on properties as well. And there's nothing like having a number of units where people are paying for rent there. People need a roof over their head, so it's a pretty consistent stream of income there and pretty consistent demand. So I really like the steady income from real estate. Another advantage of investing in real estate are the tax benefits. Of course, real estate creates tax depreciation, so you could write off your cash flow with that tax depreciation. And also when you refinance and harvest that equity growth, the funds from the refinance are non-taxable funds. So it's a non-taxable liquidity event, as we call it. So the tax benefits of real estate are great. I mean, you can write off all of your expenses there. You can write off your mortgage interest and everything else that it costs to manage and maintain real estate, which is a lot of costs. And the list goes on for how many write-offs you have with real estate. So I end up actually paying very, very little tax personally because I pay myself through the refinance of my properties, and our investors earn from those refinances as well. And I earn a little bit of cash flow as well from our properties, as do our investors, but we're able to write that off with tax depreciation. So at the end of the day, the majority of my payment I'm earning, I don't earn a W-2 income. I don't earn a salary. I just earn from the investments of real estate that I have. So my effective tax rate is very, very low, although I can pay myself a nice amount through the year if I have enough properties that are refinancing and cash flowing, which of course is the goal here at People's Capital Group. So the other important thing here, advantage of investing in real estate, is of course financial freedom, right? The whole idea, the whole reason we have People's Capital Group is to allow people to achieve financial freedom. Essentially, that means your income is higher than your expenses, but not your income from working your day job, income from passive investments. Okay, so passive income, meaning real estate syndications or stock portfolios that pay dividends, or different REITs or crowdfunding sites, or different ways you're invested in assets that you have no managerial responsibility of and no managerial control either. And ideally, that's passive income, also called mailbox money, right? Checks coming to your mailbox or direct deposits to your accounts that you're not working for day in and day out. So when that passive income is higher than your cost of living, right, for all your living expenses for each month, each year, then you've created financial freedom. Now, often people don't achieve financial freedom till later in their life, but the idea is to achieve financial freedom as soon as possible and then have the option to keep working. Maybe you love what you do and you want to keep working regardless. That's great. That's very admirable. But at the end of the day, financial freedom gives us the option to do different things with our career, maybe start that business you always wanted to start. Although if that doesn't go the right way, you might lose your financial freedom, so you want to be careful there. But the idea is to create a number of passive income streams to create financial freedom. I've read that most millionaires have 7 forms of passive income, real estate generally being one of them. So another advantage of investing in real estate is real estate appreciation. So property values tend to go up over time, especially with inflation at the rate it's going right now. And I've seen my property values, and our investors have seen our property values appreciate very nicely. In fact, about 6 to 8% of market appreciation here in New Jersey. And boy, we own some short-term rentals in Vermont. They appreciated so much, about 30% in 1 year because of the COVID bump, that we were able to sell those for a really nice profit and exit that market very profitably. So real estate appreciation is a great way to earn wealth in real estate. You can harvest that appreciation through a cash-out refinance, which means you don't have to sell the building to harvest that appreciation necessarily. And that can help you take some of the cash off the table, turn that equity growth into cash in your account through a cash-out refinance strategy. That's our strategy here, buy, refinance here at People's Capital Group. And that's a great way to not pay the tax man, but take some cash off the table and pay yourself. Just make sure that those funds go into something that produces, and again, more passive income to reach that financial freedom. Another advantage of investing in real estate are mortgage benefits. So the cost of a mortgage is a write-off, the interest is a write-off, and of course, the benefit of a mortgage, you can leverage your investment. Right? At People's Capital Group, we use a mortgage to buy properties and leverage our investors' capital. So often we're getting a mortgage maybe of 70 to 75% of the purchase price. Now, the bank's not going to allow us to borrow more than a property can afford to based on its cash flow of a property, based on its free cash flow. So the bank and ourselves will underwrite a property, and that will determine how much of a mortgage it can get. And how much of a mortgage a property can afford. But essentially, a mortgage is a great tool in commercial real estate to allow you to leverage your investment, get a bigger property. Bigger is better in real estate. And that allows the building to produce more cash flow. It allows you to buy a building that produces more cash flow, produces more tax benefits, and also grows in value faster, because bigger is better in real estate. So not only is mortgage a tax write-off, but it's also a great way to leverage your investment. Real estate, it's very easy to get a mortgage ideally. Most banks, most people expect you to get a mortgage and buy in real estate. There are different ways to borrow in other asset classes, but real estate is one of the easiest to borrow in, because the mortgage is based on the performance of the property, not necessarily the individual borrower. Okay, here's another advantage of investing in real estate. We have inflation. So inflation right now is something we cannot control. It tends to be taking off. It's around 7% or so right now, and that's kind of scary. So you want to be in assets that are friendly to inflation. And as inflation grows, your wealth grows as well. Real estate is one of those asset classes that is very inflation friendly, meaning that our property values here for our passive investors have just grown at a great rate over the last few years. And the value of our debt, our mortgage, has gone down. See, because our mortgage is in dollars, US dollars. So as they print more and more dollars, the US dollar becomes less valuable. So our mortgage value becomes less, but also our property values grow, because inflation is causing the cost of assets to grow and the cost of our dollar to lessen. So our debt becomes less, our value of our property becomes more, and that's a really amazing thing that inflation causes, an effect inflation has on real estate. And it's really a positive for us landlords and our passive investors. Also, controlling your assets. So sometimes investing in real estate, people like to own the building and manage the building day in and day out. Now, I only advise that for people that know how to manage real estate, have the time to commit to managing real estate, and understand the risks involved in being your own property manager, or even dealing with a management company, having to underwrite a bunch of bad deals to find a good one, and also making sure that everything's going according to plan with the contractors and the renovation. So there's a lot of, it's a very management intensive asset. Real estate is hard to find the right deal and manage it day in and day out, even if you're dealing with a management company. But if you're experienced in this space and you know what you're doing, or you want to just have this experience to see what it's like to be a landlord, it's not a very thankful job, but you can hire a management company, work with the management company. I did hire a number of management companies before we started our own. I was not too impressed with them, so we ended up developing our own management company, which was very hard to do, but gave us great infrastructure here at People's Capital Group and allowed us to manage our investments more closely. So controlling your assets is a great benefit of investing in real estate, great advantage here. It allows you to essentially control your asset, where with a stock, you really can't do that. When you're invested in a stock or a mutual fund, you're not controlling that asset. Diversify your portfolio, right? So this is a real, true, and tried way to get out of the stock market and take some of your capital and put it into a tried and true asset class like real estate. So you always want to be diversifying your portfolio within the stock market and out of the stock market. Sure, you can own REITs, real estate investment trusts, that are publicly traded stocks backed by real estate, and that is a way to diversify into real estate, but you're still then invested in the stock market. So the only way to truly diversify some capital out of the stock market is to invest in real estate, and a good comparable experience to investing in a stock like a REIT is investing in a real estate syndication. See, a real estate syndication pools capital together, buys a large building, and then the owners of that building are passive investors, generally non-voting members of an LLC, or known as limited partners as well. And those individuals get the tax benefits, the cash flow, the equity growth of the real estate, all the benefits of owning real estate without having to do the heavy lifting behind the scenes and the management and signing for the mortgage and, of course, finding the deal initially as well. So a comparable investment to a REIT is a real estate syndication. All right, so that's one of the ways you can diversify out of the stock market. You can try REITs if you want to stay in the stock market. If you want to get out of the stock market, a real estate syndication is a great way to do that. Also, purchasing your first home. If you don't own a home, great way to get started investing in real estate is to purchase your own home, and instead of paying your landlord's mortgage, pay down your own mortgage over time. Single-family property is a great way to get started investing in real estate. Just owning a single-family property, maybe improving it over time, and then selling it for a profit. That's a great way to get started investing in real estate. An advantage of real estate investing with single-family homes is that if it's your primary residence and you live there for 2 years or more, you could sell it and not pay taxes up to the first $250,000 of gains. If you're a married couple, that's $500,000 in gains. So buying a single-family home, maybe a bit of a fixer-upper, put a little lipstick on a pig, as they call it, sell it a few years later, you don't have to pay taxes on all that income. So that's great, up to $500,000 if you're a married couple. So you can really flip and build your primary residence there into a nicer home as well, and not have to pay taxes on those gains. So it's a great advantage of investing in real estate. Of course, with the real estate syndication, that's when you're investing in professionals that are doing the work for you. That is a good way to get started in real estate. If you want to own apartment buildings or income-producing real estate, but you don't exactly know how to do it, real estate syndication is a great way to do it. And that's what we are here at People's Capital Group. We help people invest in apartment buildings passively. And then you have real estate crowdfunding. So those are more like websites, third-party websites where you can invest in opportunities through a crowdfunding website. I know Fundrise is one of those, and there's different sites out there where you can get started with a smaller investment amount, where real estate syndication may take a larger investment amount, but there could be some better opportunities with private real estate syndicates as opposed to more public fundraising sites where there tends to be a little bit more fees involved as well. So overall, the advantages of investing in real estate are extensive. Just historically, it's shown to be a very good asset class. Not only does it produce tax depreciation, cash flow, and equity growth, in a high inflationary time like we're seeing right now, it's a very strong investment. Also, people tend to need a roof over their head no matter what. So it tends to do pretty well, especially apartment buildings and high demand markets that are professionally managed, which is exactly what we focus on here at People's Capital Group. Those tend to do pretty well through tough markets and strong markets, recession and bull markets as well. So depending on what's going on with the market, we find that buying mismanaged apartment buildings, improving them and refinancing them over time and producing cash flow, tax benefits, and equity growth for our private investor group is a pretty tried and true way to invest in real estate. And that's investing through a real estate syndication. And People's Capital Group does just that for our passive investor group. So if you want to learn more about getting qualified, you can click the Qualify Now button on our website there and fill out the application form. And hopefully we can connect there and see if you're qualified to invest in real estate. We can start building our wealth together exponentially in high demand markets. So I'm Aaron Fragnito with People's Capital Group. Thank you so much for listening to the advantages of real estate investing. We talked about a number of different options here: getting started in real estate syndication, real estate crowdfunding, single family homes, how to avoid taxes, also real estate investment trusts inside the stock market, getting out of the stock market and building real equity in real estate is an advantage as well. talked about inflation, mortgage benefits, and real estate appreciation, and of course the steady cash flow and tax benefits real estate often produces. So I'm Aaron Fragnito with People's Capital Group, and thank you so much for listening to the Passive Cash Flow Podcast. Please subscribe for a new episode every single week. Thanks.